I figure, I'm already, yeah.
Here we are. We're live. We're chatting behind scenes here. I was just saying how Jill, I've met her in person, and I love about her that she just makes you feel comfortable. She has that presence about her. And, different people bring different vibes. And I really appreciate that about you, Jill. So
Well, thank you.
thank you. Thank you for being you.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Lots of fun stuff going on. So why not be yourself? Right?
Yes. So Jill, how many of these challenges have you done?
This is number 11.
What?
Yes.
How have I missed a lot of your challenges?
Well, I took Pedro's challenge to do one a month very seriously. I almost got that. But since March of last year, this is number 11.
Wow.
So it's been an adventure for sure.
Let's talk about that. Tell us a little bit about some of those.
Well, I am an action person. One of my strengths from the Strength Finders, if you've ever done that personality thing, is activator. I like to get started and then figure it out in the middle. So I just jumped right in and started hosting challenges. I had one idea for a who that I was aiming for, kind of the like big picture vision of what I wanted to do and to change. And so I just was picking different ways to try to solve problems for those people and meet that person. And I just came to realize after 10 of them that the problems they were having needed massive solutions that needed some financing. And I just was not in that place business-wise. So I said, okay, Lord, well then what else is in my hand? And he brought to mind stuff I hadn't even thought about. So this kind of just came to be, and it's working lovely. I created the graphic because I knew the process. I just jumped right in, posted it. I got 10 people in there and 7 showing up live and engaging. So
beautiful. I love it. Yeah. So you must love doing challenges.
I love teaching. I like being in front of a camera. I was comfortable teaching in front of people in my prior career with training and working with in the classroom. So this has been very natural to be on here. I think for me, the biggest adjustment is that a challenge is not just teaching, it's teaching and marketing, weaving those together in a way that brings people to a place they want to buy from you. Then I can coach and so that has been a piece that's been a little harder for me, but I'm very comfortable on here and I have a lot of fun doing graphics and figuring stuff out. So yeah, the Gallup Strength Finder is awesome. I loved that.
So somebody was in that and knows you. I can't see that. Sometimes he's Facebook user. I'm like, who is it? Who is it?
Yes. I had that last night. One of my persons hadn't is it StreamYard has to approve your, yes. Yeah. And so I'm like, Facebook user, go.
And once again. Hey, Jill, what brings you to stories? Because I think this is really cool. And for, the focus that you're doing on this one. It's Brandy Jo. Hi, Brandy Jo. I got to meet her at the conference in March. Love you, girl. Powerhouse woman. Leave your legacy as a storybook. What brought this?
Well, I love to write stories. I've been a storyteller for 30 years.
Wow.
And it started with writing skits and plays for Vacation Bible School, and then into writing. So it started with stage plays. Then I did some screenwriting around 06 to 2011. And then took some of my ideas into kids' storybooks with the intent of moving that to the screen. And so I don't want to say it's been a hobby, but it's not been a business. It's not been anything that's made me any money. It's just something I very much enjoy. And so I pulled out, I must have 15 manuscripts sitting in a box. And at Christmas, I was like, I'm making some of these come to be. And so
yes,
I took 2 of them and started with illustrators and took them from manuscript, illustrator, learned the self-publishing process, and have had so much fun bringing them to be.
Wow.
And So that's where I was like, I can help people do that. That's in my hand right now. Figuring out how to sell them, market and sell them, I'm figuring out that piece. But I think there's a lot of people that, like grandparents, who don't care if they sell it. They're writing it for their grandchildren. They're writing it to bring their stories to life and leave something of them behind. And so that's
Wow.
kind of where I was like, that's in my hand right now. I know how to teach how to do that. And so we're just getting all creative, and it's a lot of fun.
We're getting all creative, guys. I love it, the energy. And I've seen you in action, at the conference and stuff. You just have energy and very relational. And so you must be artsy too, then, not just writing.
Yeah, it's funny because I was very math science my whole life.
Wow.
My degree's in science, I taught science and math, but I always loved creative. So I would do arts and crafts. I never thought I was great at writing. Then all of a sudden that God brought that in the picture. So it's weaving these together. So I write stories and create artistic expression of science ideas in the
Wow.
natural world. So I bring it all together. But yeah, I have found that we have been made to create. That was
Yeah.
like the title of my first session. We were made to create.
Wow.
Everyone has a creativity muscle. It just might be an atrophy. It may have been discouraged young.
I'm not laughing as in laughing. I'm like, yeah, this is so true.
It is. I can't tell you how many people are like, oh, I'm not creative. I said, yes, you are. You just may have been discouraged when you were about 8 when someone told you your little toilet paper dragon was lame. And so
Yeah.
you just checked out, I'm not creative. But it's there because God made us that way. So
Wow.
tapping into that, helping people like warm up that
Wow.
muscle and jump into taking your stories and things that are true, that you believe are true, and just amazing things that you've observed or happened to you, um, into a story that you can carry on is
Yeah.
a powerful way to create. So
Yeah. I would love to see my mom and dad do this with all the life that they've lived, and they just have, 10 children. They have so much story. Hey, Lori, they would
10
love.
children? You
Yeah,
come from a family of 10?
yeah. I'm the oldest girl
Oh
of
my
2
goodness.
kids. I have one older brother, and yeah, they have like faith adventures and like my dad just wrote me a message before I came on today. And you
Mm-hmm.
saw in this story, and he tells this whole journey of how he was with his one friend, and they thought they'd stop by the house this guy used to own in a small town of 400, right? That my parents live in. And then they start talking to the lady, and they help her in her house, and she tells her stories and stuff. And it ends up being the mom of a young guy who's friends with one of my brothers, who has been looking to connect back with my family for years. And my dad tells this whole story, and I'm like, wow. Like, you can't make these things up.
No, no.
Yeah.
And the like I opened my challenge with the very powerful reality that every time a person passes away, it's like a balloon that goes up and all their stories go with them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so if we haven't done anything to collect those, yay,
Wow.
Lori, I'm glad you're having fun. If we haven't done anything to collect those or to um, write them ourselves, those are gone. And my grandparents had all passed away before I was 10. So I don't have any of their stories. I have the few my parents remember, but that's it. And I think there was a statistic that uh, we're in the very last year that anybody who lived during World War II, vets, anybody who worked from home, they're all like, this is
Yeah.
almost all of them are gone. So that whole era, everything. So you've got, when I think about it that way, I want to help these grandparents. Um, and I actually have a gal in there
Wow.
whose son passed away, and she wants to write
Wow.
these stories about her son for her grandchildren. Like,
Beautiful.
the, so there's just so many really neat places people are coming from that they want to capture their
Yeah.
stories, some of they've loved stories, and put them into a storybook. Um,
Wow. I
so
I
that's
did I wrote a poetry, um when my sister passed away. I wrote a poetry book of the story of her, and I wrote this whole, it's really fun. But then when I went to get it edited, she said to me, well, this will only work for your family, right? And so then I was like, okay. So I changed it all up, and it's good, but I still feel like as I'm listening to you, I need to make that one for the family, because it's all the innuendos and the, like, the, you know, the special things, the quirks, the funny things about her and her boyfriend, right? And because he passed away too, and so I wrote
Mm.
interesting stories, right? And I was like, wow, that was fun. I cried after I wrote it and read it out loud to my parents, but it was healing. And I thought people will
Yep.
love this. But then I made a book that will apply to everyone that has a story in it too. And I'm stuck. I'm stuck at this place. So maybe I should be at your challenge.
There you go. Come join my next one when I do this. But so you have two stories there. You have one
Yeah.
that is very personal,
Mhm.
and it captures the heart of somebody very special to you that is going on. And there's a circle of people that will be moved by that. So to
Yes.
capture that for them, you can't put a price tag on that.
You're right.
So yes,
Right.
will it cost some money to get it illustrated, edited? Sure. But you don't care if you sell it at all. So when this gal gave you this
True.
advice saying nobody else, this wouldn't be for anybody else. Yeah, it wouldn't. It would be for you, but how healing. What a
Yeah.
beautiful like tribute and way to remember her
Yeah.
for everyone. Yes, and there's also a story of a truth about losing or
Yeah.
grief or loss,
Yeah.
certainly that everybody else could relate to. So you, and that one is one you could take somewhere. When you speak, you could put them together. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many things you could do with it
Yeah.
that,
I was just thinking that sometimes we have to do the personal first. I was just hearing this epiphany as I was listening to you, like the personal, so that it paves the way for people to receive the one that's not so personal for
well,
family.
certainly to write it,
Yeah.
certainly to write all the personal pieces and heal in the process of it
Yeah.
and to weep and to mourn,
Yeah.
certainly.
Yeah.
Then you can extrapolate out of that the truth piece that and the story that you could deliver to everyone else. So
Wow.
it is,
Jill, I
it's
love
that
your
certainly the
energy.
process.
I love
Sorry.
your heart and your energy, and like I've seen it in person on you too, and I love that you just exude life and creativity, and it's inspiring. It's really inspiring, and will bring out, you know. So talk about that at the in your challenge, because you're in the middle of your challenge right now, and that's okay.
Yes.
I could be people at the after they did their challenge a week or two later. You know, it's good to be introduced. It's good for people to know you. A lot of people didn't realize, hey, Jill's here and she's doing this special
Yeah.
thing to help bring, you know, you said capture your nuggets of wisdom and illustrated children's stories so your grandchildren can carry them for a lifetime. This is huge. So tell us a little bit about what people can expect in the journey. You must have some replays still, right? And you're in the middle of
Oh
it.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
we're on day 4, so
Oh,
it's
wow.
still going on. You can still sign up for it. And I'm actually, thank you, Brandy. Thank you. I am actually intending to rerun it probably every 2 weeks for a while to get it nailed. But I'm finding there's um, even some more micro niche that I
Okay.
could do in each one. Like, but I don't need to go there now. So all to say, if you've missed this one, it's gonna circle back around. So come find me on my page or in Find Challenges. There will be more coming doing this. But what we're doing really is I've walked them through a framework of how to think about storybook creation, and the kind of 3 major pieces we're looking at is the commitment to it that I've determined here and here that I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
So in doing that, then I need to awaken my atrophied creative muscle, right? I got to get that going. So there's some work with um, building someone's confidence, someone's
Yeah.
courage, even with creativity. It's there, it's in you. We just got to kind of jostle it a bit and give it a little workout, and then empower them as an author. That
Yes.
what you're writing on this page is more than just some words. That it is a story, and there's some authority in your authorship. So
Wow.
we talk about those. Um, And then we get into the logistics of, or the more practical framework of the process of writing. And so creatively, we've done like a creative exercise each night to kind of warm it up.
Mm.
And I've decided to do that. I've committed to doing 100 days of creative muscle workouts on
Wow.
my page. So anyone wants just a workout, go on there and read and do the exercise. But to get that creativity muscle awakened and working. But then we did some creative stuff, and then we're really digging into what stories could you tell,
Mm.
and what do you like about stories, different story structure pieces, and how they kind of are told. And then tonight we're gonna address choices. You have to make some choices as an author,
Wow.
and sometimes those choices are hard. Like, well, I can't choose. Well, put on your big girl panties. We are gonna make some choices tonight.
I love it. You know, I've been waiting since I've got into the 100X movement. I've been trying to do a book, right? I've gone
Oh,
to
okay.
every one of the challenges, but you know what? They've all helped me to weed down, I haven't started anything yet, but I'm creative all the time, writing. I wake up with things and I just document, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's time to implement. You know, you write the vision down, but it says implement it
Yep.
so that they
Well,
can run with it.
to be honest, a storybook is a little bit easier to write, far less words. Um, some of the weight of the book is carried by the illustrator, so it's
Yeah.
not entirely on you to get 50,000 words on a page.
Yeah.
But what I am finding for myself is that as I write these storybooks, what's emerging is um, a more personal development book that I could write,
Wow.
that around creativity, what it means to be creative, what it means
Love it.
to. So I think the storybooks kind of help with this. So if you are saying I have some books in me, start with these. They're much more fun.
Because you could
You can
take
write
one
them
of the
faster.
points, right? Yeah, you could take one of the points and then, you know how Lori's in there and Brandy Joe, like I know Lori's writing a book and just taking some simplicity of what you're bringing into the bigger story could change your perspective and help you see differently. Because when you start seeing the illustrations too, isn't that cool? Like
Oh yeah.
the illustrations change the story, like empower it. And like I know my book is basically done except for back page, putting the thing together. I basically have all the illustrations, and it's just do it. It's just publishing. It's just doing the final steps. And I think I got
If
bottlenecked.
you've come that far, if you've come that far and you have the illustrations, it's just like
Okay.
hop, skip, and jump. You're almost there.
Yeah, I am.
You've done the hardest part. Um, and I will
Yeah.
say
Finding an
the
illustrator.
pardon.
Finding an illustrator is hard.
And I do talk about that a little bit. In fact, from the perspective of a challenge marketer, I am following Pedro and I'm doing a handful of challenges. My offers around coaching you to actually get the manuscript written. So we go from concept to print.
Yeah.
And once that's done, then I'm doing a live event around publishing or around illustration and publishing,
Okay.
introducing to illustrators. How do you find one? What are the different styles, concept art, how to do all of that process. So I'm taking people through it, but in bite pieces.
Good.
So from a 20,000 foot view, that's
Yeah.
my intent with my challenge. But one person at a time, it's giving feedback on what they write and helping them shape their book and find their voice. It's not
Yeah.
going to be my voice in that book. It's yours. So let me help you find that. That's the offer piece. And right now
Yeah.
we're just figuring out what story could you tell and that you'd want to tell.
Wow. This is so good. I love interviewing with this. I can feel the energy and I needed that today. I just came out of having a
Yay.
toothache for like a week that I still have to get pulled. I'm on
Oh.
I'm doing okay. I'm on codeine and amoxicillin. So bear with me if I'm not acting myself, but I feel really excited in my spirit about what you're doing, Jill. And it's like you found something you love and then you're bringing it to other people. There's nothing like that. And that is what God's been speaking to me and as well as taking something that I love not just doing what I do well or I skills at, because we can do lots of different things, but loving it.
Right.
And so your enthusiasm comes out, and I'm inspired without even coming to your challenge. Like that's what you want. Like, and I
Yeah.
interview a lot of people, and I can tell when they own it. I can tell when this is them, and this is so authentic that it excites people, that they want to come and be a part of, this movement. So guys, Jill is offering this, whether you're a grandparent yet or not. You have a legacy already. You have,
Mhm.
you have a journey that you've lived that you want to share. So go check out, the link is in the description of this video as well as on the screen here. But you can copy it off of the description after. And also, she started already, but you can catch replays, and she's going to be doing another one, but go in and catch what you can. I think I'm going to go find it myself too. There's so many challenges this week. I was like, oh Lord, how am I going to check out all these? Like, there's
No.
can't even keep up putting the schedule together. I'm like, that thing takes hours. It's crazy how, because as soon as someone adds one, you're like, oh, I have to move this around. So when you, what's one last thing that you would like to say to people that are feeling, is this for me or not? Or,
I would say this, and I told my participants this: there are 1,000 stories in you. There are 1,000 stories in you. We want to pull out one and bring it to life and share it with those who are very important to you right now, your children and your children's children.
Wow.
So let's mine those and pull those out. And writing, the creative part, you're naturally wired to be creative. And I can help you exercise that muscle and get going with it. In terms of structure, there's just some steps that you follow, and I'll walk you through and coach you those. The big thing you have to decide is, I'm going to make a choice to have courage and go for it. And I want this in my kid's hand by Christmas. You can do that.
Wow.
So that's what I would say. You just decide you're going to do it. You can come join us and let's run together.
This is good. My birthday's 11/22/22 this year, and I feel like I'm supposed to do something for that day.
There you go.
Yes.
You're going to hit publish.
Yes.
It's going to show up to your door.
Jill, I love it. Jill, would you pray for
Yes, I will.
people before we close? And that would be awesome. It's been so wonderful to have you today.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you. Lord in heaven, we thank you so much for every individual who's watching and listening today, and even those that aren't. Lord, you've given us stories, you've given us experiences. You use so many things to shape us. And while they are for us, they are also through us for others. And so I want to encourage each person here that whatever God is doing in your life, somebody else needs to hear about it. And a storybook is such a beautiful way to bring that to them. And so as each one is considering, Lord, what is this? Can I write this? Is this really for me? Lord, I just want you to lay on their heart that this is possible. This is possible for every person to write this. And the world needs our stories right now. The world needs our heart, our truths, our kingdom principles, and the things that you are teaching and transforming us with. So I thank you so much for the opportunity to share here, and for each heart that's listening. And Lord, I just so excited for those that you are going to bring to raise their hand and say, yeah, Jill, help me out. And to those that don't right now, but it's there, Lord, just water that seed, let roots begin to grow so they can see, I could do this. In your name, amen.
Amen. I felt like you reached in, God allowed you to reach in and just pull something out. I'm like, whoa, like just awakened. Like, it's like God is doing something. So may that just ripple over to other people. Thank you guys for celebrating with Jill and encouraging you guys who are joined her group and walking with her and being supportive and find challenges. Thank you guys for showing up and stepping in. And don't you love kingdom? Don't you love like kingdom is creativity? Yeah, you are. I have my striped shirt, but I usually have something saying too. So, well, God bless you, Jill. I feel like you are making such an impact in the kingdom, just being who you are, and then taking this extra skill set. Powerful. I'm moved.
Yay! Well, thank you for having me, guys.
You're welcome. And I have to run for the next
Okay.
interview. I got backtracked from the beginning, but this has been wonderful. I'm excited. So
Yay! We'll hope
thank
to
you.
see you there. And
Yeah.
yes, bye guys. Mwah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.